So let me ask about Catholic Match, right? Because my sister met her husband on Catholic Match, and you guys met your fiancés on Catholic Match. So it seems like
This is
online...
please sponsor our show.
Yeah, please. We'll be happy to sponsor. Yeah, have your sponsorship, CatholicMatch.com.
Right.
But it seems that more and more people that I know are finding their spouses on Catholic Match. Is it almost impossible for young adults to meet their spouse in real life these days, or what do you recommend? What do you think is like the optimal way, or is it just depending on the person?
I don't know if there's an optimal.
Yeah, I mean,
there's efficiency, but I don't know.
Yeah. Circumstances and depends on where you live, but like for us, I don't know. At least, well, maybe
because there was always a very robust young adult group in Stanford, and I remember, the guys would come to me when I was, part of it, and they'd be, oh, there's no girls to find, and the girls would come to me, oh, there's no guys to find. I'm like, do you want me to play matchmaker? Because like you'd be great with her, and she'd be great with you. It was like.
Yeah. I think people get nervous about asking people out in person. And then also, if you're in a small Catholic community, like the people talking amongst themselves. And
yeah, that's true.
If
and then
this
if
doesn't
you break
work
up,
out,
right,
then,
I
can't come to this person's party because that person's going to be there. I don't know. I think the great thing about online is that I like to vet people ahead of time. So, you can
save a couple steps.
Yeah, but you're also there, so it's intentional. You know that this person wants to date, and especially with Catholic Match in particular. Granted, you have to be careful, but they ask you, like, do you accept all of the church's teachings, so you can filter by sort of some of those.
Which is important, because, like, even things like contraception, which most people perhaps don't accept,
And some people would say, I accept all these, but this, and I'm like, okay, well, then you're not Catholic, so bye.
Well, that does save you time.
No, it definitely does.
Did you filter by mass preference?
Did they have that option on Catholic Match? Like traditional Latin?
Latin, Novo Sordo, no preference, and charismatic.
Charismatic.
They charismatic.
I didn't know charismatic.
I might have excluded the charismatic, but I definitely had a lot. I had a lot of filters on.
That one. I
had a bunch of filters on, so obviously you have to be careful. But
you have one match in the entire United States.
Yes. Well, my Hinge, when I had Hinge too, which is a secular app. I was getting so many messages from people that I was like, literally put this blurb at the bottom. Do not reach out to me unless you are going to mass every week and regular confession and you accept all the church teachings. And people still reached out. So it was kind of annoying. But I found Catholic Match was better, actual in terms of, I'm sure there are normal, good practicing Catholics on Hinge too. I'm not trying to.
Yeah. I mean, two of the 7 weddings, 2 of them were, non-Catholic Match. One was Hinge. I don't remember what the other one was. Dating sites. So it's like
you have to have patience. You just have to you have to treat it like a job almost. Just continue to
just applicants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my friends did meet his wife after 2 weeks on a non-Catholic dating site.
Really?
I was like, whoa.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not impossible,
right,
but it's definitely harder. I think.
Well, the dating sites, not Catholic Match. They tried. It was terrible. But yeah. Still sponsor us. But like some of they're really good about like finding like the first people. If you log into that app and like you sign up, the first people you see are generally like probably the most compatible.
Yeah.
And so if those are actually the people, then like there's actually a high chance. Now it works probably better in the secular sense than the Catholic sense, but
I mean, how many people are on Catholic Match? Is it like?
I don't know.
Tens of thousands.
Not enough.
100,000?
No, there's not. Yeah, I would say that there's not too many. Like, I mean, compared to these other apps.
One of my friends moved to Salt Lake City, and he did like 150-mile radius of Salt Lake City. And you're like into the desert or deep into the mountains at 150 miles. Mm-hmm. And there were 13 women. I'm Catholic.
Well, I mean, Salt Lake City. I mean, that's
but still,
if you did like Mormon Match,
there's like
they'd have billions.
Well, they have, but there's like 300,000 Catholics in Utah. It's not.
That's true.
It's not huge.
It's
like probably Diocese of Bridgeport plus or minus. Yeah. And there's like a solid community because you kind of like
you have to be.
Yeah.
But I think the benefit of the dating apps is that you know that like when you go to a young adult event, you don't necessarily know, even if you're talking to this person, are they into what are. Do they intend to date? Like, do they want to?
Yeah, maybe they are dating and you don't know, right?
So
that's true.
Yeah, I have a lot of opinions about young adult stuff because I think it's a natural part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Like, I think most Catholic young adult events, like the Faith on Tap, Theology on Tap type stuff, and a lot of the other events, it is meant. There's a high priority that a lot of people go to those things to find people to date.
Yeah.
I think it's a high priority.
And that's fine.
Maybe not for everybody, but
No,
I think,
but I would say the vast majority are single and not married.
Yeah, that's right.
Most people, when they're married, they drop out of young adult activities.
No, I love going to young adult things. I still go.
Good.
I mean, I still go. No, I still go.
And I hope you do. And I hope you do.
I would say that's probably not the.
But that's not the norm.
Right.
That's not the norm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you know, and that's okay. You know, but I think there is pressure. I think especially, I don't know if you felt this, but I've talked to some women, and they feel when they go to like Catholic young adult, especially in Stanford, which had like more men than women at one point, which is very rare in a Catholic community.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They feel they almost, there's so much like pressure to like find somebody to go on a date with that some people like actually close, men and women like kind of close up a little bit because they're like, well, sometimes I just want to go just like see my friends.
Yeah.
But there's like this underlying like
who's going to be kind of judging me, or like shopping for me, you know, or
a little bit. Yeah.
Something like that. Interesting.
And so it's like, it's okay to have like, this is the advice to young adult coordinators. Like, no, have like singles Catholic young adult events because then there's like an underlying intent that like, no, people are there to like meet each other, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely okay.
Right.
I mean,
and then there's some events that are more like, come on, it's fine too.
I mean, how many events do we have for vocations to the priesthood, right? Like lots of come and see dinners, this and that. So it's a similar thing. It's just, you know, we're trying to help as the church people find their vocations.
Right.
Yeah,
and it builds up the church.
You know, if you're praying, like I'm sure Paul was to Saint Joseph, and you know all these, and just being, I guess the moral of the story is you can't sit in your basement just like praying and waiting for God to send this person.
Drops out.
You have to. I mean, it's fine if you don't want to be online. That's totally fine. I get it. Like there are people who don't want to be online and put their information out there, but then you need to try to go out and attend these events. And you know, like especially if you want to find like a good Catholic man or woman, I mean, the places to go would be mass to these events, and you know, to try to put yourself out there as much as you can.
So we don't have much time left, but I got a couple more questions because I'm very curious about this whole process.
Okay.
Do you feel like, because you met online, do you feel like you skipped the friendship stage?
Yes.
Well, not for me.
Really?
I feel like Henry and I just had,
So you guys have friendship while dating, like kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. And
but would you say it was intentional though? That like you were.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely
yeah.
intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we, like, for us, chastity is a huge part of the relationship, and so like being able to discuss all of those things without the distractions, and also have like super deep conversations. I mean, even when we were on Catholic Match, we would literally write like books to each other, like books, essays. I think one time I did get shut out because it was like, you can I sent
you reached your 10,000 word limit, right?
Yes, there were limits, and so I sent multiple messages, and then it said you can no longer send any. Unfortunately, we had agreed on where we were going to meet because that was before the first date. But it was like wait until like the other person replies, because sending too many messages can be overwhelming to a person.
AKA stalking, but
yeah.
We just had a lot to say.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love
it.
Aaron and I were probably both on the same page. Like, let's just jump on a Zoom as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So like we started to write the books, and then it was like, okay, let's just like for us, at least for our, like both of us agreed on this. So again, like we agreed on things.
Yeah.
It was like, let's just jump on like a Zoom call for like an hour and just.
Yeah, and Henry and I are closer, so we were like, he asked me to like.
Yeah, we were farther.
In-person date.
Yeah. So. And then the next week we actually went on an in-person date.
Okay.
So